Hi guys, on today's video I want to talk about affordances for action. So yesterday I went bouldering with a friend of mine, and the ability to perceive what the design of the rocks on the wall then allows your brain or your body to be able to do is a clear example of this. So as somebody who's climbed once before in my life, I was looking at the gaps between the rocks or whatever their specific name is and thinking, how on earth is my body going to get in that position? Like, can't even get started. Whereas more experienced climbers are looking at the wall and thinking, actually, even though there's not a rock there for me to put my foot in, I can still use the space to push up off the wall. So this brings back to a point made in yesterday's podcast with Tim Stevenson about strength allowing you to play at a higher level. Now, the concept of play or the concept of fun within training is something that's been a regular feature of the Platform to Perform podcast, and I'm always intrigued as to how coaches strike the balance between the two. But actually, if you think about it, I almost like to think of it like an infinity symbol, like strength on one side, play on the other, and the fact that as you get stronger, that infinity symbol expands outwards. So if we're thinking about affordances, what does your perception of your environment afford you the ability to do? With today's podcast guest, Howard Green, we were talking a little bit about positive affirmations and whether or not you believe in them or not. The idea or the thinking is that, for example, if you're perceiving that positive things are going to happen, this is probably going to start to change your mood, which is then going to influence your actions. And then obviously actions you take will then create a potential ripple effect outwards as what you've done good, or your good work is now starting to be noticed. Whereas, for example, let's take the podcast as an example. When I first started it, I just thought, you know what, no one's going to listen anyway, but I enjoy chatting with other coaches and teachers, so therefore I'm going to keep doing it. Now, if I'd have thought to myself, well, no one's going to listen and therefore I'm not going to take any action, then well, no one would listen because the podcast wouldn't be out there for people to listen to. So what does your environment enable you to do? For example, when I see a spongy floor, I'm thinking, oh, this could give me the opportunity to practice falling over, which I did a lot of yesterday. What do your physical capabilities allow you to do? So, for example, a little bit of a geeky David Attenborough-esque fact, but water striders, because of the tension of the water, as an insect that's able to walk on water. Or if you YouTube the Jesus lizard, otherwise known as the basilisk, its tail and the way that it almost bicycles its legs together allow it to run on water. So what do your physical capacities enable you to do? By getting stronger, more mobile and more coordinated, you're going to expand the capabilities of what your body is capable of, and as well as that, you're going to expand your perceptions of what your body is capable of. With a background in powerlifting and a strong, or what I like to think is a reasonably good strength to weight ratio, I can look at bouldering and think, oh, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. Whereas if you're dealing with someone who's, for example, weak, frail, can't do a pull-up, it's very easy for them to think, nah, that's not for me. Equally, if you've got someone who perhaps hasn't got that strength base, but they're technically very efficient, they know how to read the wall, or they got the perceptual skills to be able to map out that route to the top in their head, then they're going to find that a lot more enjoyable. So when it comes to whether it's a physical education curriculum, your strength conditioning program, think about how you're improving your athletes' affordances for action, how the environment is going to drive their behavior, how their physical capabilities is going to drive their behavior, and ultimately how their perception is going to drive their behavior.